Now we have the complete understanding of data, and it's crucial to understand what kind of data is being generated in this whole world, because on the basis of that you decide the strategy of dealing with it. Now the strategy could be that how you're going to utilize, what kind of tools you're going to use, what kind of analytics you're going to perform, and what kind of results you can get. Now the next section which we are going to talk about is called big data, and this big data is, like, people are just talking about it. They are not aware of how and what this big data is all about. So I'm going to uncover the patterns, and I'm going to talk about like what this big data is all about. And what we're going to do is we are going to see like what is this big data, what kind of data is being generated, and then the different case studies of it. And we also wanted to talk about what is this hype around big data, and what are tools which all companies are using it, and what kind of analytics is all possible. And the major thing which you will learn in this is what are the challenges of big data. So I'm going to talk about all these stuff. Stay tuned with me in this video. So first thing first, right, there is a lot of hype around big data, and then people are like just talking about it because a lot of companies, like the big companies, Facebook, Twitter, Google, Microsoft, they are generating petabytes of data every day. Now there are many there are like many instances where companies are not able to do the analysis of it, because they are not able to store that data, and that the data is generating in so much of amount that they don't know how to deal with it. And if you can't store that data, you can't analyze the data. As simple as that. But is that it? Is there anything else which we need to know about big data? Is there something, are we supposed to know the basic properties of data, or are we supposed to know the basic what is this basic thing big data is called, when this data will become big, when this is called big data? Is there any small data which is also around? What tools I'm going to use? Let's uncover everything step by step. And what we are going to do is we are going to understand these interesting facts, but we will also understand why big data is important, and we are going to do that step by step. So first thing first, we're going to talk about is what is big data. Now let me give you an example. Say I have a movie which is of 55 GB, which is a 4K movie, and I want to give this movie to you, and I would say it will be opened up in a specific player, and you agreed to that, and then you downloaded that player and you started watching that movie. It's not a big deal. It's a normal process, isn't it? However, you might not have faced any difficulties in running that movie format in your system, but would that process be exactly same when I give you 45 GB or 50 GB of an Excel file? Or if I give you say 10 GB of an Excel file, or if I give you 1 GB of an Excel file, right? I'm sure you might not be able to open that up in your system. Now why you would not be able to open that up in your system? Because there are challenges. Your existing tools, or the traditional tools which are supposed to process that applications or this kind of data, is not sufficient enough, or not providing you enough capabilities to store it, right? So that's why we are not able to deal with this kind of data. But if I give you 1 GB of text file, would you be able to open that up? Probably not. If I give you 512, then would it be feasible for you to open that up? Probably not, because the applications which are meant to open the text data or Excel data, they are not enough efficient. Either the hardware is not efficient, or the software is not efficient to open that up. Now we are collecting the data which is in enormous amount. It's so big that we can't even think about it. The definition of big data also lies exactly at the same point. It says large and complex data which are difficult to process using the traditional processing applications. For example, if I give you 1 GB of an Excel file, maybe you will not be able to open it up with your current laptop, but if you upgrade it to i9 processor and 32 GB of RAM, probably you've got very highly high-end device, probably you would be able to open that up. But there is always a limit. You cannot go beyond that. there is always a limit, and the data will keeps on growing. There is no limit to data. Right now I'm giving you 1 GB, maybe probably down the line I'll give you 1.5 GB or 10 GB or 20 GB or 30 GB and or even 1 petabyte. Who knows? The data is just keeps on growing, and there is a limit to the hardware which we are using right now. So there is a challenge, and this challenge is being named as big data, which means that I have a data which is extremely large, and it can be analyzed computationally. I want to analyze it I want to put it into my computer. I want to analyze computationally, and I want to reveal the patterns. I want to pick up the trends and associations, and I wanted to understand that human behavior and interaction so that I can use that in my business. But I'm not able to do that because my traditional applications are not efficient enough. And that's where the big data definition comes into the picture. So I'll just read it out for you. I hope you will understand it. Large and complex data, difficult to process them using traditional data applications, is called big data. Or you can also say that extremely large data set that may be analyzed computationally to reveal pattern, trends, and associations, especially related to human behavior and interaction, is being called as big data. These are the different kind of language, but I just wanted to give you a formal definition of big data. And the formal definition of big data says that big data is the term for collection of data sets so large and complex then it becomes difficult to process using on-hand database management tools or traditional data processing applications. The challenges include capture, curation, storage, search, sharing, transfer, analyze, and visualization. Now this definition is itself very simple, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand the business terms of it. The data is so complex and big that it becomes difficult to process them using existing data tools, which means that I want to analyze this data, I want to take out inferences from this data, but I'm not able to store it. I'm not able to process it with my traditional application. And the definition of big data is lie in a simple term. It's called relatively. So if your data is data might be big data for your traditional application, but it is not big data for somebody else's computer. Maybe that computer is so advanced enough. So there is a term called relatively large. When the data is relatively large and complex enough that you cannot open that up within the application which you already have, then probably you call it as big data, right? So there might be some possibility that something is big data for somebody else's system, but it is not big data for your system because your system is advanced enough. Right? And I want to do what? I want to do multiple things. I want to capture this data. The data is coming in enormous speed. The data is so huge that I cannot store it somewhere. If I cannot store it, then I cannot cure it. I cannot search something from the data. I cannot share it. I cannot take out inferences out of it. I cannot transfer it. And I cannot analyze it. I cannot find out the trends out of this data, and I cannot do visualizations either. I cannot do anything with that data. How to deal with that data and how to analyze this data. And this, what kind of data I'm generating? I'm generating sensor data, I'm generating HTML pages, social media analytics, clickstream data, emails, location data, devices data, databases, images. Look, people are posting videos, they're liking, they're creating hashtags and whatnot. I'm generating that much of data, which is so huge. It is so huge that I'm not able to store that up. I am bombarded with the data. And not every time you have got the data which is of 1 petabytes or 2 petabytes or 1 terabyte. There might be millions and billions of files which are coming in the size of 10K, 20K or 30K. So they're coming in different formats, and I want to, if when I combine that data, it becomes so huge that I cannot deal with it. I don't know how to store that data, how to analyze that data. So the problem over here with big data is that it's very difficult to deal with, and we're going to understand that which all tools can help us out in dealing with that kind of data. So I'm going to see you in the next video, and where I'll talk about the definitions of big data, and we'll also talk about what are the things which will make big data actually big. See you in the next video.